Paul, in referring to the man Christ Jesus, he said, "For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet." The word must there, comes from a word that means out of the determinate counsel and will of God. He will reign. He must reign. He has to reign because of who He is. And that is evidenced, I believe, in Psalms 110, when the Lord gave us a promise of His reign. He reigns in the universe. When I think about the reigning Christ, I think about, first of all, He reigns in heaven. God reigns and rules in heaven. I turn back to the book of Psalms, chapter 11. I read over here in about the 4th verse, where that David said, "The Lord is in His holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, and His eyes behold. His eyelids try the children of men." The throne in heaven is the place of sovereign rule, reign, and authority. God sits upon the throne of His glory. He reigns over all things in and of the earth. Again, I emphasize, He doesn't cause everything to happen. He allows some things. He suffers some things to happen. But our God reigns in heaven. He sits on the throne of His glory. The Lord is in His holy temple. If you get discouraged about our nation today, are you concerned about the way she's going? Are you concerned about the lack of common sense even among our political leaders? Are you concerned about the ungodly activities even of our court systems? My friends, I lay down in peace at night simply because I believe that God is on His throne and reigning in heaven. And one day He'll set it all right. And on top of that, regardless of what comes, regardless if we go through persecution, trials, and tribulations, my God has said, "I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. I'll be with thee in 6 troubles, and in the 7th no evil shall overtake them." But who do ye say that I am? What is your view of me? And then Simon Peter answered and said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus answered and said unto him, "Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church." What does Christ build His church upon? The rock of the revelation of who Christ is. The only thing you will ever know about Christ is what He reveals to your mind and your heart, and what you learn about Him in His Word. We do not know a whole lot about God, but I will tell you this. I do not believe that any mortal man has ever seen God in His glorified, majestic beauty and glory. You know why? He couldn't stand it. It annihilated Him. That's why these bodies of ours have got to be changed in the resurrection, fitted to live with God in glory. And one day you will see Him. Job said, "With these eyes shall I behold Him and not another." What a marvelous thing is that He reigns over the church. Now I want you to notice, He said, "Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." You know what a gate is? You know what the purpose of a gate is? A gate is for hindering. It's stopping the progress of. Now what does that imply to the church? It implies that the church is moving forward in its service to God. But when we're moving forward, the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. You know why? Because God will open those gates. He'll fight our battles for us. I was in conversation with a man years ago, and he told me this. He said, "I want to leave the church just like I found it." I said, "I don't. I want to leave it better than I found it. I'd like to see the church more knowledgeable of the Bible and of the Word of God and of what God has commanded than it was when I was away." So he said, "I will build my church." When I look at that, I can look at the foundation of the church. I can look at the certainty of the church. He will build it. I can look at the intimacy of the church. It's my church. It's His. Belongs to Him. And I can look at the invincibility of it, that Satan will not hinder it. And let me go further. Somewhere on this earth, when Christ comes again, people will be worshiping Him and giving honor and glory to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I don't know where it'll be. I hope it's here. But it will be somewhere. And then the authority of it, the church. He rules and reigns in the church. I've told them in our Wednesday night service recently that the church is not a legislative body. It's not our job to legislate laws. It's our job to observe the laws God has given. God is the ruler. He reigns. He has the authority to give us our rule. In Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 22. Paul says, and hath put all things under His feet, and gave Him to be the head over all things to the church, which is His body, the fullness of Him that filleth all in all. Sometimes people ask us, where's your church? I know what they mean by that. What they mean is, where's the church of your membership? But technically, I don't have a church. And furthermore, you don't want me to have a church. And furthermore, I don't want to have a church. I want it to be the Lord's church. I like for Him to be in control. You know, recently, or last year, a couple of years ago down in Hampton, I remember on a Saturday service, Elder Harold Stumbaugh stood up in his remarks and he asked this question. He said, what would happen if we would come in and sit, just sit, until the Spirit moves? Think about it. I wonder what would happen. I fear in some cases we might be sitting a long time. Other cases we might not be sitting for so long. But now then, I want to bring my remarks to a close this morning. And I want you to understand this, that I do believe in the reigning Christ. I believe He's reigning today. I believe He's been reigning since He ascended back to glory. And I believe He will continue to reign. But I want to go to Matthew chapter 25. I want to begin in the 23rd verse. I want you to notice the way that it's put, the way it's worded. When the Son of Man shall come in His glory. Did you notice that that text didn't say if He comes? That text didn't say He might come. The text didn't say He could come. But that text says when. That tells me He is coming back. Do you believe that this morning? Do you believe He's coming back one day? Acts chapter 1. The angel come to the disciples on the Mount of Olives after Jesus had been taken up out of their sight and said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand you gazing into the heavens? This same Jesus you see ascending will in like manner descend. He's coming back. What's He going to do? How's He going to come back? You know, Bible critics, they just love to think what they find is mistakes in the Bible. For an example, they said over here in the Song of Solomon, Solomon describes the Lord as hair as black as a raven. But then John in the book of Revelation describes Him with hair as white as wool. How in the world can we rectify those two? Very simple. When Christ came the first time, He came as a sin bearer. His hair is black as a raven. But the second time He's come with hair as white as wool. That's in His glorified state. That's in His majestic state. He said, when the Son of Man shall come in His glory. He came the first time as a babe in a manger. And not many people even knew about it. Some didn't care about it. Some didn't want to care about it. Some did. And some wanted to know about it. But when He comes back the second time, everybody's going to know about it. Everybody will know when He comes back the second time, because He's coming with His glory, and He's coming in His glory with all of His holy angels with Him. With all of His holy angels. How many is that? I don't know. But it's a lot of them. And He said, and He shall sit upon the throne of His glory. The reigning Christ is going to do some judging in the end of time. And He's going to say to those on the right hand, which are His sheep, "Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world." That'll be the greatest news a sinner's ever heard. Come, ye blessed of my Father. What about those on the other side? They didn't know God. You couldn't get them to know God. They hated God and would not have anything to do. So I'm not worried about them, folks. But I will tell you this. He will come and He will divide all nations. He will set it all correct one day. One day we'll find out who's who and what's what. When our God comes to reign for the final time and take His children home. But I want you to believe this morning. I want you to know that I believe in a reigning Christ. He reigns over heaven, He reigns over hell, He reigns over life, He reigns over death, He reigns over the grave. You know, the grave couldn't even hold Him. Kept Him for 3 days, but after that it had to give Him up. So He reigns over the grave. He reigns over the church. He reigns over our individual lives. Because He is King of kings and Lord of lords. And there's none like unto Him. None can compare unto Him. None can say unto Him, "What doest thou?" Do you believe in a reigning Christ? If you do, and you're not a member of this church and would like to become a member, you come forward, let your desires be known. While let we stand and sing some sweet will.